If this video pops up on your For You page and you're someone who also struggles with confidence, then please watch this video. I feel like confidence has been something I've struggled with my whole entire life. Confidence wise, today I've had like a really big knock, and mentally it's like really affected me. I didn't realise how uncomfortable I was on camera showing my loose skin. Like, you'll always notice in my videos, for like full transparency, I'll always have a jacket on. Basically my plan was to get ready and film a video that was like a body video, and I can't do it. And that's really knocked my confidence, because I really would love to do TikTok like as a job, but I just don't know if my confidence is there. I don't even know where I'm really going with this video. I'm just kind of talking, and no matter how big I've been or small I've been, I've never been confident. People think I am because I've always done performing arts, and with that comes the ability to sort of fake it till you make it. I am going to try and just resort my makeup out because I have been crying and it's gone everywhere. So I'm just going to take some of the MUA blush balm. I love this, I've been using it all the time. This is in the shade Berry Blush. This is all I basically used. On holiday, this was all I used for blush, because you can literally just roll it on like this. Just going to take a Spectrum brush and just blend it in. And I've got powder on, but you can blend it over the top of powder. It just blends so beautifully, and it just gives the perfect like rosy glow. And use it as like a cream blush before you put powder on, but I also apply it over the top. But yeah, so I've always kind of faked my confidence levels when I'm on stage and I'm performing. I'm being someone else. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely daunting and it's really stressful, and it's something I've loved doing for years. It is nerve-wracking and you do get nervous, but it's different because you're not being yourself, you're being a character, and that is something that I thrive doing, because it's like a chance to escape being me, which is weird, but it's the truth. And I stupidly thought that my confidence was all to do with my weight, which at my heaviest, a lot of it was to do with my weight. Like, I didn't have any confidence because I didn't leave the house very much. I didn't want people to see me at my heaviest weight. I couldn't do a lot. My fitness levels were a lot weaker than they used to be because I was a lot heavier. Losing 10 stone has been so detrimental for my health and my well-being mentally, but my confidence is still crap, and I can't sit here and say, oh, I've lost 10 stone and my confidence is amazing, because it isn't, and it'd be a lie. And I don't want anything I post on here to be not organic, because to me that is the whole point in posting this and pushing myself out of my comfort zone to post this, is that it might help somebody else that's struggling. With every stone that I lost, I was like, oh, but the next stone I'll be confident, the next stone, and then I got to 10 stone loss, and I was like, that was the initial goal I'd set myself. Don't get me wrong, now I still want to lose some more weight, but it's not for confidence reasons, because I don't genuinely think that I'll be a certain size and be confident at it. I have always been a self-conscious person that I've sort of disliked about my body over the years, like my arms, you know, my belly. Even though it's a lot firmer and a lot smaller than it used to be, I'm still self-conscious of it, especially now that I've got a lot of loose skin, because I genuinely couldn't think of anything worse than showing my loose skin on camera. It's something that at the start of my journey, I was well aware that I would have to deal with it. As somebody that was over 20 stone at my heaviest, I knew I'd have loose skin. Like, it's part and parcel of losing weight, and I'd prepared myself for it, also I thought. But the one thing I will say is, although I've gained so much from losing weight, the only thing I have lost is the weight. Like, I haven't changed myself apart from losing weight. My thought processes and everything are exactly the same, and I don't just think now, oh, because I'm thinner I'm more confident, or I'm more... Don't get me wrong, I've gained a bit of confidence, I do go out now and everything, but it's not to the point of what some people would assume. I think people look at you as a before and after type of thing and think, oh wow, the confidence that person must have gained is amazing. And yeah, from how rock bottom I was, it is much better. But for a lot of people, this is not, I'm not confident at all compared to some people. You know, you'll never catch me wearing a bikini. You'll never catch me posting a photo, you know, of an unposed angle, I suppose. But I just wanted to air my thoughts really and hope that it might help someone else. I didn't expect to be as self-conscious, which might have been stupid, but I just thought that a lot of my self-consciousness was because I was bigger, because I felt like people were looking at me all the time and judging me, or people, I didn't want people to see me that I'd not seen for ages in case they thought I'd let myself go, type of thing. And by no means is this me saying, see, I look at other people, if they're bigger, and I still think, oh my god, they're amazing, they're beautiful, they look phenomenal, but I could just never see myself that way when I was at my biggest, and I still can't. I don't know if me being a self-conscious person is going to be the way I am for the rest of my life. Is that, you know, I thought once I'd hit like 25, I'm 28 now by the way, that I would, you know, I'd hit an age and I'd just stop caring as much about my appearance. I was thinking badly about myself, but it's never gone. It's something that I've always struggled with, and I think I always will, and that's fine. I can, you know, I can accept that because it's how I've been. But I just, you think when you've been on such a transformative journey, and like I've gained so much back in my life in terms of my fitness levels, so much better. I can run, walk, swim. You know, on holiday, we've recently been on holiday, I only got back 2 days ago, and I swam every day. I swam 30-40 lengths, and it, you know, didn't even make me feel out of breath, didn't make me feel anything. I just felt amazing. And the swimming was something that I did a lot of my younger life, and I stopped doing when I got to my heaviest because I was so self-conscious of wearing even a corset. Like, even going in fully clothed wouldn't have been an option because I didn't want to be seen, which is stupid and very sad, but it's how it was at the time. It was a very difficult sort of situation to navigate, I suppose. You lose the weight, but you don't lose the weight of your own opinions. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't lose, I don't want to get emotional. You don't lose your opinion of yourself. Like, your opinion of yourself, if it's bad to start off with, it's still bad. I personally haven't found that I've thought, oh wow, you know, I look so much better, or my focus is completely different now. My focus is all about strength. Like, at the start of my journey, it was like, oh, I can't wait to lose the weight and be thin. And that, I'll admit, was so stupid because I've never been thin my whole adult life. I've never, since year 11, sorry if you just heard my cat in the background, she's on the bed. Since year 11, that was the thinnest I'd ever been as a teenager, and then as an adult, this is the thinnest I've ever been now. But it's not, compared to what some people, it's not thin. I'm not size 8, do you know what I mean? It's not about, now it's not about thinness, it's about strength and feeling strong and feeling good. And I don't know if I'll ever feel good to an extent of like what I imagined I would, but just feeling healthy and I was going to say being healthy, but I've had so many problems with my stomach since and before the start of my weight loss journey. I had gallstones for 2.5 years, which was the most horrendous pain, well, that I thought I'd ever experienced. And then I had my gallbladder out in 2020 because it was full of stones, and for 6 months it was like the best I'd ever felt physically for a long time. And then out of nowhere I just started having really bad stomach trouble and stomach problems, was in agony, you know, couldn't stop running to the toilet, as drastic as that sounds. And it hasn't, 3 years I think it's been since I had that out, since 2020. So it's 5 years. Did I have it out in 2022? I'm thinking now. I'll put it on screen so I can find out, because I can remember what weight I was at that time. And yeah, and then this problem that I've recently just been diagnosed with, BAM, which is bile acid malformation. And that's basically where you don't, because when your gallbladder's, you know, taken out, you don't, your bile duct can only hold so much, and it should filter into your gallbladder, but you don't have one. So it filters back, it can filter back into your colon if you've got too much. And then obviously that's quite acidic, so that's burning your colon, which is where the pain comes from, but it's filling your colon with that rather than food. Sorry if that angle's changed slightly, the vlogging stick keeps falling over. I got where I was now, I had to pause it because it had gone on to the 10-minute thing, because I've never stopped rambling for like half an hour. But yeah, so then I had to deal with that, and all that knocked my confidence, because it was like I was working so hard to be healthy and fitter mentally and physically, but it didn't work, because although I was getting healthier and more active, I couldn't do as much because of my stomach condition is still really impacting my life. I'm going on trial medication as of like as soon as I can get to the chemist. So, but yeah, so it's been a difficult journey. I don't think I'd mentally prepared myself for how difficult it would be, not physically, but mentally. Because I would say physically, you know, my journey has been a lot easier physically than mentally. Don't get me wrong, at the start of my journey, you know, working out and everything was so difficult at the weight I was. And my stamina and everything was so low, because I hadn't done that for ages. Just walking down the street killed my back, and I mean, like, I was in agony with it. Like, I'd be so mardy and upset over it, and that I'll never go back to being that way again. That feeling was horrendous. But then you know, fast forward to now, 5 years later, and still struggling with my appearance is something that I just didn't expect, I suppose, and probably stupidly of me, but I assumed that stupid saying it out loud, but I assumed that my opinion would get better of myself, I suppose, the stronger, more like physically I was, which kind of is silly, because I know like you can be so strong physically but not feel strong mentally. And I'll be honest, like I told myself at the start of the journey, you know, if I've got loose skin, you know, if my arms are still bigger, you know, if I've got a loose belly or my boobs like are saggy, then that's fine, because I'm so much healthier. But then when you have to deal with that and look in the mirror every day and deal with that, it's not as simple and as black and white as that. You know, dealing with it is very difficult, and it's so hard to explain to somebody that hasn't done it or hasn't experienced it or doesn't live with it, that it's not that it bugs me in terms of, because my loose skin is, I'm lucky, my loose skin is majority on my arms and my lower belly, so it doesn't really get in the way, or I'm not at a lowest enough weight for it to, I suppose, impact me in a way that's like uncomfortable. But it is mentally so uncomfortable and so sort of upsetting, I suppose, that I feel like losing weight was the best thing I've ever done for myself. But mentally, it's really impacted my confidence, as well as it was when I was bigger. Like, because I've now got so much loose skin to deal with, and at 28 that feels overwhelming. And like, you see all these people online at 28 that have, you know, the most amazing physique and so toned and everything, and I'm like, at 28 I just look like a blob. And that's really hard to deal with, and really hard to sort of comprehend without being emotional and thinking like, oh, why do I not look like those models, and why do I not look like that, and like, why aren't I more toned, or, you know. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. And I knew I would have to deal with loose skin. It's really weird, because I feel like my fashion, when I was bigger, like I challenged myself more when I was bigger to wear stuff that I would never wear now. I'm just going to put some of this contour palette. I would never wear that now. I find this is such a blendable, amazing palette. I've got to rediscover what I would wear now for this body, the body with loose skin, the body with saggy arms, saggy boobs. You know, I'm not, although I was bigger, my body was more, I don't know, in proportion, I would say, because obviously I've lost a lot of weight, but my arms are still so much bigger than the rest of me, as they've always been. But when I was bigger, I feel like it hid it more because I was bigger all over. Whereas now, I feel like the majority of the weight's come off my face, my boobs, my belly, and my legs. But my arms are now just baggy. Like I've got like a line where my, you know, arm is and the muscle is, and then the loose is just hanging. And that's really difficult to sort of look at every day. And, you know, for a long time I avoided mirrors when I was bigger, and I do feel like I still avoid mirrors now. But I am, you know, I posted my first ever mirror picture, which at one point I would never take a picture in a mirror. There has been so many milestones that I've sort of celebrated along the way. Consciousness of me is still there. Like I am still a self-conscious person. Chat on loose skin was helpful / insightful / honest and open, and that you maybe relate to it in some way, but also I don't want you to feel like that, so hopefully you don't relate to it at the same time, but hopefully you take something away from it, type of thing. Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely don't know if I'm going to post this, but I hope I have the confidence to. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.